All right, great. Let's get started. Your first task would be converting an implementation of the priority queue data structure from Java to Python. And you'll do this one with the AI support. Your second task will be converting an implementation of the try data structure from Java to Python, and you'll do that one without the AI support. We'll take a break between the two tasks since the session will take about 2 hours. First, let me tell you a bit about this code translation task. The task is to produce a complete and working Python translation within 30 minutes. By complete, I mean that all the functionality and documentation from the Java code should be translated. And by working, I mean the Python code should be tested for correctness. We're not providing a test to you. You can just write an informal test sort of at the bottom of the program or something like that to make sure that it works, if you get that. As I mentioned earlier, there's more work to do to accomplish an absolutely perfect translation than what can be done within 30 minutes. So really, I'm asking you to just do as much as you can in the time you have, but there may be trade-offs in how you spend your time, such as whether you choose to translate all the functionality first, or to translate a portion while testing it to make sure it works, or writing tests first, or anything like that. How you navigate this trade-off is completely up to you. A few of the things I should mention about this task: you'll be using an online version of the VS Code editor in this study. Just a few minor differences from the desktop app. In general, all of the menu commands and the keystrokes are available and should just work. But please do let me know if you encounter any difficulty. I won't be able to answer any technical questions about the code or what it's supposed to do, but I can tell you the Java implementation is correct and works. When you make the translation, please try to preserve the naming of the class and method names, but we're less concerned with how you name variables. You can also use whatever resources you feel would be helpful, such as searching on the web or Stack Overflow, or running any of the code since we've installed Java and Python in the editor. I'll give you a 5-minute warning when time is almost up, so you'll know to start wrapping up your work. We also ask that as you work on these tasks, you think out loud and tell us what you're thinking and what you're doing. This really helps us understand how you approach the task and what you're thinking about as you do it. If you're quiet, I'll remind you to keep thinking out loud.
All right.
Okay. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. So I'm going to ask you to share your screen.
Alright.
I assume are you in the VPN? Are you in the inside the firewall?
Yeah.
You'll need to be for that to work. Okay. For this to work, not for sharing your screen. All right. That looks good. What kind of browser are you planning to use?
We're on Safari, but I think I have Firefox if we need that.
Safari's fine. Safari's fine.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so for the first task, in this task, you'll translate the priority queue data structure from Java to Python with the help of an AI code translation system. The system is able to automatically translate code from Java to Python, but it's not a perfect system, so the translating code may contain errors in it. We use the system ahead of time to create 5 separate translations for you. So these are alternative translations that the AI has considered as possible good translations for this. How you use these translations to help you complete the task is completely up to you.
Sure.
I'm going to give you the link now. I'll put it in the chat.
All right.
Okay, hold on one sec. So, right, so there's a blank priority queue.py file there. That's where we can put your solution. The Java file is right above that, and there's 5 potential translations generated by the AI below that. If you like, you can split your screen. There, you see that little doohickey in the upper right-hand corner, right under where your Safari message just came up.
Oh,
Um,
this?
yeah, right. That'll split the screen. You can open it so you can have like the Java and the Python side by side if that's what you want to do.
Okay,
Okay, let
cool.
me start the timer. All right, starting the timer now.
All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quickly look at what the Java code wants and read the documentation. Um, all right, so we got an insert function, remove, size, peak is empty, enumerate, add all, heapify. Okay, and I guess I'll compare the AI. Um, see what the differences are so far. Uh, so we got an array versus an array list, basically the same. And um, these are looking pretty similar so far. Um, so did you say if I was to try to test, it would be um, in here or
You
wherever?
you can just sort of put a test of well in the file in the priority queue.py file where you're gonna assemble your solution. You can put some test code at the end, say that and
Okay.
then just run it by hitting that little green play button at the top of the screen, and it'll run whatever.
Okay, and are there any for this or no?
No, we're not providing any tests. Sorry,
Okay.
that
Yeah,
would
I guess my first thought was just like trying to find where the AI would be wrong.
right. Sure.
Um, yeah. I mean, this looks like identical. Oh, that is identical. Parent. All right, assume that's the same. Okay, this is like the difference there with the first arg. So I'm gonna see what heapify does. how Java compare to oops. I want to know what the return value is. 0 when they're equal and okay. So this is saying if the first is longer versus that would just be an object compared to another object there. I want to see what the other implementations of that look like, if they're all the same or different. I feel like I need to run a diff on these.
Mm.
Oh, this heapify is much smaller and takes a different argument. I think this wanted the saying and it's 0 if it's equal there. Oh, that's got a greater than 0 as well. Didn't see that for a second. I should have. Okay. So I think this should be 0 because why is it passing the whole heap instead of...
I'm just going to point out you're modifying the AI produced things, not your solution.
Okay, I can't modify this and then copy it over at the... I guess so.
You can do that. That's fine. I'm just pointing out that you're not.
Okay.
It's not going into your solution yet. You might want to
Okay.
copy it and then modify it if that's what you're going to do.
All right. And then I'm unsure why the if and the else are the same. um, okay. Wait, this is... It's just not right. Uh, enumerate. Yeah. Result stop self dot remove. Did we already look at remove? We did. Okay. Just all right. Um, so like underscore name. Mean, then
So you copied everything over and from the first version to priority q.py.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure I'm supposed to keep track of what you're doing and minute by
Okay.
minute, and that's what I've been typing.
Okay. Um, so we'll also make it a priority queue. You could we'll say insert one. Okay. And mm, See if I missed something. Quit that. And printed.
I wonder if you get the if part, right?
Yeah, I thought that was how Python mean.
Yeah, but I think if you just yeah, it might be two underscores on either side of main. Is that how you typed it?
Oh, okay. Cool.
There you go.
All right, there we go. Thank you.
I don't think I was supposed to tell you that, but it didn't seem relevant to the
Uh,
problem. And
I always have something just generate it for me. I don't often have to write
me
if
too.
need.
Most people have just left that out, and whatever's down there at the bottom just runs.
Oh, okay. Do- Oh, it's gonna make me. This isn't PyCharm. Uh,
No.
okay. Well, we have some issues to start with, I guess. 920. Oh, isn't it?
Mm.
Let's see if that's better. Okay. Oh, we're adding it at the end. I think we can do self.heap.append. Yeah, I think we can do one of those. I did want that item though, or that index. So that's fine. And this should be done first. Kind of annoying I can't debug it, but
F5.
it wants me to create a launch.json,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it just keeps.
Oh, darn. I thought the debugger was installed. I'm sorry.
All good. I guess we'll do print
Yeah,
statements.
go old school.
Um, kill that. Um, do that. Oh, I've been writing in like TypeScript for a while.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
got all
okay.
curly braces. All right. I'm like useless without a debugger. Priority queue is not an iter. Oh, all right. I don't know if it was the order I was expecting, but they're all in there. Except for one that I deleted, but that's okay.
It's great.
We'll call that one good enough. And we'll try to remove one. And try to remove one. Oh, remove the highest priority item. We don't take anything. Okay. If I do it again, we'll remove 4. Let's find out. So we're dead. I feel like that's out. Synthesizers. Got 4 things in that. 5 things in that. Priority queue is not subscriptable. Line 52. Self of 0. Self dot heap. All right, so those are the things that we have in there, and checks out. Do you want to return the first one? All right, so what we'll do is empty. Which I think is not the same name. So we'll bring that over.
Five-minute warning.
Okay. We'll test it out here and there. Okay, we'll just say len of self dot heap is 0. That's passes. Enumerate, provide all the results in a priority queue in order. Maybe I should have been printing that. All right. Print PQ dot enumerate. I think it's not gonna like that print, but that's okay. Copy is not defined. From copy, import copy. Try again. Function object has no attribute deep copy. Oops. Python deep copy. Copy dot deep copy. Okay. 63. What do you mean copy has no deep copy? We're supposed to import from a capital C or something? Need to Google example. Import copy. Maybe that'll work. Okay, and then what line is that? 65. Self dot is empty. We have that now. 43210. Okay. Um, yeah, since we're putting them to the front, that checks out. What's the next one? Add all. Okay. My R equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And PC dot add all my array. And we'll see how that goes. 5, 4. Oh, that was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was not expected, I think. No. And we have heapify. Which gets called.
And that time,
Okay,
Lauren, you did fantastic.
thank you.
That was great. I know I told you we're not competing or anything like that, but that was like, top notch.
All right. Good. I couldn't tell if I was doing well or not.
Well, right. Nobody can. But you, I think you got everything working.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't yeah, no heapify tests, but it gets called somewhere, so
It's called
something
this,
gets
yeah,
tested.
it got called in remove, right? And maybe one other place. I'm not, no,
Yeah,
maybe
it
just
gets called
remove.
in remove and
Yeah.
it gets called by itself.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You seemed a little bit confused at the end when you printed out the heap and it wasn't in order, but the heap isn't an ordered list. It's a tree,
Yeah.
right? So there's lefts and rights and stuff like that. But when you enumerate, we walk the tree in the right order, and that was working all correctly. Okay. So let's
Yeah.
jump right to uh,
Ooh,
the questionnaire.
sure.
And I'll put that in the chat. Um, I'm pretty sure that it automatically saves files, but if you could just save priority queue.py, that'd be great. Just to,
Okay. It seems to be saved.
yeah, okay.
No little white dot.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to lose that at this point. That's all. All right. Uh, there we go. All right.
All
So
right.
if you could talk through your thinking about these questions as well, that'd be great. Um, yeah, your P32.
Okay.
Put the P in there too, so that
Oh,
it's just
okay. Lowercase or uppercase?
uppercase, I guess. It's a name, right?
Cool.
It's a, okay.
Like I viewed the privacy policy.
That's what everybody does.
I clicked on it, so they'll never know. All right. How mentally demanding was the task? Um, I don't know, maybe like 12. Because I think I didn't have to do any hard designing. The hard part was just figuring out like where the AI went wrong. And then also not having a debugger, because that's an integral part of my coding skills. Um, how hurried or rushed was the pace of the task? I would say I rushed. I tried to rush a little faster. Like if I was doing this in everyday work, I would have probably taken my time a little bit more, but it wasn't the most rushed. Um, I I I think I was pretty good. Um, yeah, I think I got through most of it. I didn't test it. I didn't test any edge cases or anything, but they ran. Um, how hard did you have to work to accomplish your level of performance? Um, I think I didn't work that hard. Kind of, I think, in line with number four. Um, how insecure, discouraged, irritated, stressed, or annoyed were you? Um, I think not that much. I don't know. It feels pretty low consequence.
Sure.
All right. Please describe your overall approach for how you worked on Yalk. Okay. Um, the first thing I did was look at the Java code. I was going to translate and vaguely understand it. Then I picked one of the AI suggestions, um, and compared it to the Java. Um, when there was something I wasn't sure about, I was a function I wasn't sure about. I compared it to the other AI samples. Then when I finished going through it manually, I wrote tests for each function and fixed the syntax errors. Um, yeah, I'd say somewhat. I don't know. I didn't look at it in detail since I was given that it worked. Yeah, that was a good translation. It's just syntax errors. Oh, I guess it asked me why. Um, yeah, it's definitely much better than I expected. When you said there's going to be errors in it, I thought it was going to be like a lot of errors and like logical errors rather than syntax errors. So that's why I like went in real hard at first.
There were a few of those too, right? Like the if and else that were the same. That's
Yeah.
a logical error. It made
Yeah.
it it made it obvious, but
Yeah. What- Yeah, that was pretty useful. I didn't have to type all that code. A little bit of errors. So it helped me complete the task because it wrote all of the code. Um, I wouldn't say it helped me understand Java or Python. Um, yeah, it probably made it easier because I didn't have to write all of it. Typing takes time. Although, I don't know how much time, since it was a direct translate. Well, I don't know how long it would have taken me to type.
you can find that on the next example, right?
Yep. You feel like the fried translations made your worst quality or the best quality? Probably about the same. Um, I didn't to type all of the code. Um, yeah, I didn't really look at many of the other ones. Um, I don't think anything. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Um, so I'm not usually asked to translate code.
Mhm.
So, uh, is this question assuming that my task that someone gave me to work on was to translate code, or is this asking about like my actual everyday experience?
I don't think, I mean, I guess it's a little ambiguous. I don't think the idea was, for your current job as it stands, how useful would this be for you? Just like sort of like in various, kinds of projects, like projects where, it's kind of normal or, high pressure situations or ones where you're working on teams or by yourself. Just reflect on whether having a tool like this would be useful, assuming you had to do a translation. uh,
Okay,
for something.
we'll say this would be mm, uh, moderately helpful. If it was under time pressure, it'd probably be very helpful
You think it would
when
speed that
working
up?
when working alone. I think the same as I normally work alone. uh, when working on code that only I would use. When working in a small team. Yeah, I'm thinking that I would have to spend a lot of time making sure the code is actually good if other people are going to look at it. Um, Probably be good for experimental stuff that nobody's going to see. One, uh, well, I guess you say slightly appropriate. That would probably be pretty appropriate. Mm, I think if it's a language you're not familiar with, you're going to miss a lot of bugs. Wait, original code. Uh, Maybe. But definitely not the language you need to translate it to. You don't know. Well, all of the lines. Um, okay, so this is saying it only makes one problem per 100,000 lines of code.
Mhm. I wish I could do that one.
Okay. Um, all right.
Fantastic. You want to take like a 5 minute break before we the second? Uh,
I'm probably all set.
you want to just jump right into it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Test number two. Okay, you can close out that one. I'll give you a new one. In,
Okay.
in this test, you'll translate the try data structure from Java to Python, and you'll do this one without the AI support.
Okay.
Put your solution in the try.py file. Okay, so you close your code editor, and I'm going to send you a link to a new one.
All right. Um,
Okay, so now this time there's just the Java file and a place for you to put the translation, and no AI help forthcoming.
sure.
And
All
that's all there
right.
is to it. All right, I'm going to start the timer now. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, starting now.
Okay, so we're gonna have class tree, and then it's going to have a uh, net. Oh, typing code from scratch. This is Java. That's right over caps here. Okay. We're gonna have self dot children. New map. Um, self dot is word. Start off as false. Um, yep. All right. So we're gonna have a def get children, and we're going to return self dot children. And I still can't. Def is end of word. Turn self dot is word. Okay, that's it. We're gonna have a class Do we have a root? Oh, we just made it. Try now. Oh, we have a class inside a class. Okay. Class. Try node. Oh, yeah, we need a self in there. So we're in Python. And all that stuff goes in here. Okay. And then we need the init function. And we're gonna say self dot root equals try node. And then we got insert. It's gonna take a word. Actually, I'm just gonna self root for L in word. I think that's gonna do it, but I'm not 100% sure. And then we're gonna say current equals current dot get children dot compute if absent. Let me say what does do is to use to compute a value for the given key given a mapping function. If the key is not already associated with a value. Okay. Python. Um, I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. So we want to say if not L in what is current self dot root. C. Okay, so if not L in get children, set does return addict. Okay, that makes sense. And I think current of L current dot children of L equals a triangle. And that'll update it anyways, so I think. Yeah, that'll update it. What is this? Un um, do we have set? Oh, we do. I missed a function. Okay. Def set end of word. Is end of word. Self dot is word equals end of word. These are the same? They're the same. And let's do that. And we need one of these. Okay. Okay. Oh, we gotta take the documentation too. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna, oh, okay, we'll copy it over. Oops. It should be down here. Tab these over. Comment them. That part is pretty annoying. I'm just gonna do that at the end. I think it's less interesting. Okay, so we can insert find word current equals self dot root. Okay, so we say for I in range word dot line of word ch equals word of I node is going to be equal to dot get children dot that I think that's turned into an of if node. I think we have none Python equivalent return capital F false. Why are you upset? Guess it doesn't like me copying and pasting. Oh, this is current node equals node. And then that's the same. And then we're gonna delete a word. And I'm gonna say delete root word 0. So that's the trinode word. Dot references this function. Because why wouldn't you? Let's pass on that now. Word index. Copy this over. Let's say this word dot index. And then get rid of that. If not, current dot is end of word. Current dot end of word of capital false. Return current dot is empty. Was that almost not different? Okay. I gotta get rid of all these semicolons. All right. I got no stuff. Not turning. Capital false. Should current be no. Delete and not. Okay, current dot remove. Okay, I think that's gonna be a dot. Move element by key from dict Python. Okay, it is pop. Return. All right. Oh, I guess I got another return false down here. Enumerate. Oh, I gotta go back up here to this one. So they're delete sneaky. We're gonna call delete self dot root word 0. If I could spell it. And then back to enumerate. Entries list. And we're gonna call enumerate a new string builder think I have to write this other one first. And we're gonna have entry, node, entries. Current equals node. All right. Entries dot add entry dot toString. Do I have to write toString of this? Python toString for class. Yeah. Okay, we'll work on that later. But we'll just say string entry. I think it's lowercase s, but we'll find out. Object keys, so it's gonna be keys equals dot keys. I think it's already an array. Arrays dot sort keys. I think we can just do a sort. Rid of that. Rid of that. And I got for entry dot append. Invalid syntax. Oh, it's the other way around with the parentheses. There we go. Get children dot get of key. Freeze. Entry dot delete character at blah blah blah. Don't need that. Entry dot. What is entry? Okay, it's an array. Pop. All right. Oh boy. Then we get to write tests. No, we don't. We get to write this one. Oh, that was a new string builder. We're gonna say it's an array. Entry. Yeah, it's gonna be an array. We'll see if that works out. We'll get there when we get there, I guess. Okay. We got that. Self dot root, and then entries. Oh, we're gonna have to return entries here, I think. Okay, and then merge other tree entries equals other tree dot enumerate. Oh boy, forgotten self on all of these. PyTorch just does it for you. Enumerate. And then for entry in entries, self dot insert entries entry and self dot enumerate. All right, well, I think we got most of them. So time to write some tests. All right. Did I ever use this? I did. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're gonna have equals new tree, and then we'll insert t dot insert hello t dot insert world. Oh yeah, I had to write the string thing.
Five-minute warning.
Okay. String dot set end of word true. Well, for the in tree dot t dot I guess we'll just try to print or enumerate. Without the arguments. All right, line 41. Children dot keys. Function object current equals current dot get children parentheses. Yeah, that definitely should have been a keys. So this is the dict. And oh, current. Current is the root, which is a tree node. Because it's a tree node, it should have get children. Oh, 41. Oh, we just updated child current. We do that here. Oh, okay. So we said I should have gotten rid of that. Name true is not defined. Of course it's not. We're in Python now. Line 42. Ah. There we go. Uh, we'll call this enumerate helper. Okay. Line 83. Append. String, and I want a capital S. For array to string Python. Done. Okay.
When that's done,
Oh, okay.
you did great again.
Ooh.
Um,
Should I leave this syntactically incorrect?
that's fine. Yeah, we're gonna go over all the the work products and look at everything. If you could save
Cool.
that in case it isn't. Uh,
All right.
that was great. What do you do? Um, you're like you're literally one of the best programmers that we've seen in this stuff.
Oh, cool. Um, so for the most part, I'm still in school. I'm a senior at Worcester Polytechnic Institute
Oh,
in
it's WPS.
Massachusetts. And I do robotics and computer science as a double major. And here at IBM, I'm a test automation developing intern. So I wrote some Python programs to do like the Excel file stuff and help people with like file comparison. And I'm also working on a VS Code extension to help people with System Z things.
Awesome. So you're still in school. When do you graduate?
I graduate in the spring of 2022.
You're still undergrad. Is that right?
Yeah,
Awesome. You're really good at
it's a good
this.
time. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of Python, not so much Java, but I feel like Java's, pretty easily translated into Python.
All right. I
Like,
sent you a link to the next survey.
all right.
Right, and then there'll be one after this one. This one will be shorter than the last one because we're not going to ask you a million questions about, about the AI support.
Okay. And there we go. Um,
Oh, wait a minute.
oh,
This,
I can go back.
um, we said no AI. Okay, I'm probably just confused. I want to just make sure I sent you the right one.
Okay.
No, I think I did. All right, let's move forward.
All
Okay.
right.
And I was thinking, I'm looking at all the questions about the AI support, but it's just the AI support study, which is everything. Okay,
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
sorry. Just
Yeah.
proceed. Again, if you can think out loud while you're answering the questions, that we're gonna listen to the recording and take into account, your reasoning behind the answer.
Okay. Yeah. So I think this is probably about the same mental demanding as the last one, just with more Googling because I didn't remember the syntax of some things. Um, how hurried or rushed? I think about the same. I don't remember what I put last time, but
That's okay.
I feel like it wasn't that hurried or rushed. Like maybe it was. I ran out of time. I didn't feel stressed about it though. How successful were you in accomplishing? I didn't get to testing most of the things, and I think there's just mostly a lot of syntax errors in there. Um, so we still probably had a little bit to go. Uh, I don't know. I think I gave it about the same amount of effort as last time. I don't remember what I put. I think it was about 12. Um, and I don't think I was discouraged or irritated or insecure or any of those things really. Um, okay, so I copied the Java code over into the file, or I started translating line by line the Java code. Um, I would write the header for the function, then um, copy the Java code into the function body and then translate it to make sure I translated every line. I planned on copying over the documentation last because it was time consuming. Um, when I translated all the code, I started testing and found a lot of syntax errors. Um, yeah, I didn't really pay attention to what the tree structure did. Um, pay attention to how the code was, oh, probably a little working. I just translated line by line. All right.
Okay, fantastic. And then one more survey. This is the compare and contrast one.
All right. P32. How would you compare your experience working? Was easier with the AI support. I didn't have to do anything. And Um, I guess they're like the stuff I would initially think of is just like what people already have with like, tab complete and that kind of thing. Or like, error detection. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Um, not as part of work. The schoolwork count as work?
Uh, that's I don't know. You've said it out loud. So you're saying you've done some machine learning stuff at school, but you haven't.
Yeah, like I've done classes where we wrote like like machine learning algorithms and that kind of thing. Um, but not as part of work.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you? Um, yes. I translated Bluetooth code in Python to C++. Um, yeah, for an autonomous delivery vehicle. Sure. All right. Cool.
Fantastic. That's everything. I can share more details about the study if you're interested. You don't
Yeah,
have
that'd be
to.
great.
Yeah. Okay. So there are lots of AI models being developed for code, uh, like to translate from one language to another, also to generate documentation, convert natural language to code. Um, but there hasn't been a lot of work to evaluate whether these models are actually useful to real software engineers.
Oh, yeah.
So that's sort of what we're studying. We're interested in understanding whether AI produced code translations are actually helpful and whether uh, software engineers would choose to use them if they were available. Um, does it make their work easier or faster? And particularly given that AI is not in at least in the near term likely to be generating completely correct code under any of those scenarios. I mean, it's like that's very different from almost all the other tools that we have, right? You know, when the compiler, uh, when your code doesn't work, you don't go think, hey, maybe the compiler screwed up translating my code to machine language, right? Like,
Yeah, right.
that has happened, and it's happened to me, but
Oh, really?
long time ago. But that's not your go-to. That's the last thing you think about, right? So first you figure out what you did wrong or how to work around it, and finally, maybe you look at what got translated, what got generated. But so we were wondering if the code's no good, are people going to just like say, if the code's not perfect, are people going to reject it out of hand? So that's one of the questions that we're trying to answer, that we've been trying to answer. Um, we're also building a VS Code plugin, as you are,
Cool.
to connect up to the this translation facility, which is not something that we built. It's actually a Facebook open source project, the transcoder. Um, and uh, we're also doing a lot of work on trying to extract additional information out of the model that we can use to help the programmer work with that code. Like, for example, the alternatives that you saw, the different translations. If we just give you the 5 files, that's already too much, right?
Yeah, do other people try to like look at all five?
Some people I mean, you spend 10 minutes just looking at mostly at one of them, right? Some people spent more time going over one after the other, and then they had no time to finish the task.
Oh yeah.
And it's really hard looking at the third one to say, well, wait, is this different from the first one? You had said, I need a diff. So we actually came up with an n-way diff. We take all the translations and difference them to each other, and then we present a single view to the user that shows this is all, you can see all the code that's the same in every translation, and then we highlight the code that's different and show you how they're different, like if you hover over that section. So
Yeah, that would definitely be useful.
um, we even found it in our first study. This is our second one. In our first one, we showed that to some people with code that wasn't perfect, and it was looking at the alternatives that made them realize, oh, this is what the error is in the code, because it's like the it was a case where it had translated a loop in two different ways. One way was iterating over the elements, and one was iterating over the indices into the elements. And in this particular case, it needed the indices. So its first choice was not the right one, but when it looked at the second choice, when the user looked at the second choice, the participant looked at the second choice, they could see, oh, wait a minute, I see what the difference in these two choices is, and I see that I need that index later on. So that's all I would have needed. So it actually helped them.
Yeah, I think maybe the strategy is to just start out writing a bunch of test cases and run the code.
Right. Well,
But
the results from the paper for this translator was there's I think it was like 68.7% of the time it got the translation correct for reasonably small functions. Um, if by correct you mean one of the 25 translations it generated passed the test, right? So if you had the test, you could just run all those codes through it. Then almost 70% of the time it'd be done. Say, oh, we have a winner, and maybe you'd even have a sense of which one to start from. So we're doing work like that, and also on computing the correspondence between the original code and the translated code, which isn't terribly necessary if you've just got a screen full of code. But in the idea that you could hover over a variable and it would highlight on the other side the corresponding variable or the corresponding statement, that so you can see where did this come from in the other code. I'm not sure how helpful that's going to be, but that's one of the things we're gonna study, because people ask for it in the first study. They say, if only something showing me the correspondences that would help me, because a lot of times you see people doing this.
that makes sense.
They're putting their hands on both sides of the screen and trying to follow along.
Oh, they literally like put their hands.
Right. So we're trying.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like whenever I go back and forth, I always just get like lost.
Yeah, right.
And I
So
spend more time trying to figure out where I am. That's why I like copy the big chunks over.
anyway, so that's what we're up to, and probably our next study will involve that VS Code plugin, seeing
Awesome.
seeing how people do with that. Um, we are going to send you 250 blue points as a token of our appreciation for all
All
the
right.
put in.
I don't actually know what a blue point is.
It's not terribly it's not worth terribly a lot, but maybe you can get a t-shirt or something. You can trade it in for things in the IBM battle. When you get it, you'll see.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, maybe I'm or something. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much, Lauren. You did great, and this is gonna be really helpful to us. I really appreciate you taking all the time, and you finished with 20 minutes to spare.
All right.
That's pretty impressive.
Thank you. It's been a fun time. I like coding challenges.
Yeah. So good luck with the rest of your studies at WPI, and I'm in Massachusetts. We're not that far away. Maybe we'll run into.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. All
Awesome.
right. So you take care.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
Bye.